Security and car tracking companies have noted a significant increase in the number of hijackings, especially of cars that have been discontinued by various manufacturers. The demand for parts has opened a window for criminals as they strip parts and sell them to scrapyards and panel beaters. And for more on this, we speak to Deputy Head of the National Community Police Board of South Africa, Thokozani Masilela. Good morning and welcome to Newzroom Afrika.
Good morning, Masechaba and your viewers.
Firstly, why this interest in discontinued models?
I think the competition sometimes determine, there could be a couple of factors, but including the competition within the manufacturers, but also I think the maintenance of those vehicle lifespan. So there's few things that will be considered, but also the easy technology that is easily accessible to the criminals or copied by the criminals also create something that require or determine the discontinuing of vehicles, motor vehicles.
All right. So, I mean, in what way are criminals able to leverage off of these discontinued models as opposed to just going for cars that are already still on the market?
Many of the technologies in the older models, as you would know, happens to be, and this is a ring, you know, you mechanics, the panel beaters, the car manufacturers, the sellers, which is your outlets. They also, there is a possibility that there is a connection in those, because you take your car for a service, is serviced by so and so who is working for the manufacturer X or outlet X, and then he leaves the company for whatever reason, goes and open his own little mechanic shops. So he knows most of these cars. He will know the technology of these cars. And same with your even the car tracking company people, technicians that will leave their employment. They know the technology in those cars. So it becomes a kind of a relay of criminal activities, and that's the reason why you see find people that will tell you, no, the VW is easy to fix, or a particular brand is easy to get the parts because there are so many in the market similar to that. And plus the release of these cars more often sometimes help to deter the technology, because you will improve on certain things on those cars. But older models, it's very difficult to change the technology. And obviously, because those that have those models will struggle with parts, then it becomes a syndicate of getting parts from those that have the cars, and they can afford to take their cars to their proper outlets.
Yeah, it certainly is big business. CarTrack also reported incidents of stolen vehicles later found completely stripped, and showing just how lucrative the trade value is when it comes to parts. In fact, estimated at about 442 million rand. What is most alarming is the statistics around hijackings. What is the current style around hijacking methods in particular? Because, I mean, there's some hijacks that have been basically recorded to just be more coercion as opposed to a more violent style. Your
courier companies, I'm sure they're suffering a lot. Your e-hailing services and your food delivery services are also, I think, suffering in terms of these hijackings. People will order, you know the sort of delivery. Genuinely so, they'll order something that must be delivered and all that. But the whole plan is to hijack that particular vehicle. Those are the also new trends that have come into the original gun pointing kind of hijacking, or stealing the car from a parking lot, car jamming, also came into the fore. So it looks like the criminals also are finding new ways all the time. You're closing a certain area, they'll find. You remember during the COVID, these things were very less, simply because there was more focus on the law enforcement and deployments and so forth, and the regulations that were governing us. I don't know how best we could have kept, obviously, relax some of most of the laws, but keep the law enforcement in that mode so that you are able to also. But we need specialists, we need data analysts, we need specialists in the law enforcement. We need technology people, security companies, and the technology, because the APR cameras are helping to some extent. But as criminals change the number plates, so it means we need to come with new ways of how to identify the camera. How can the camera also identify a certain vehicle through identification other than the number plates?
Let's talk about the hotspots. I mean, where is a person most likely to be hijacked?
Well, you would know that off-ramps and on-ramps at certain times also changes. On-ramps and off-ramps, company vehicles or marked vehicles, or at times known vehicles to belong to companies. But mostly, you know that incident of a car ramping you behind and it's as if showing number plates, that your number plate has fallen and they want to hijack you. You know the spikes on the N4, N12 that is also has been taking place. So you actually having. Criminals will never come closer where there's more cameras because it's a deterrent. They don't want that. It's very rare that you can get hijacked at a filling station because there's a lot of cameras there. It's very rare that you can get hijacked at the shopping mall. The car can be stolen at the shopping mall, but you being hijacked at a gunpoint, it's very rare, unless these people really they were following you. So the on-ramps, off-ramps, parking your gate as you come home, opening your gate during load shedding. Although we haven't seen much of those, but even during when lights are on, you have this parking as you park at your house, opening the gate, and then you get hijacked. So there's a couple of places that but for known areas is your on-ramp and off-ramps, and sometimes certain robots. Those that are very secluded, you will then get hijacked. But we have seen a car being hijacked on William Nicol in a peak hour time, which is strange because of the moving of the traffic, and you ask yourself that. Is this maybe been followed? There's a plan that has happened, because it can't just be that, it's a getaway car. Some cars are just hijacked for getaway. You'll find it again, but it was used for getaways.
And what tips or advice can you give to our viewers to just help people stay safe out there?
I think as South Africans also, at times we are very relaxed when it comes to crime and being crime conscious, and that's the worry. I mean, you must see when you're driving on the road, parents driving with their cars. I mean, in their cars and having kids the front seat or and so forth. That also gives a impression to criminals that you are very relaxed. You know, you don't worry about anything that should happen and don't pounce at you. But we just have to be crime conscious. We need to be always vigilant and put technology in our car, especially the older models, gear locks and so forth. Those, because I know it's a little bit expensive, but it will save your car that you have kept so many years. And check your alarm systems all the time, you know, and so forth. And when you're locking the car, just make sure that you also go and check again. You know, let it be a habit of some kind, because carjacking it's also a problem, and sometimes it gets stolen from. Although the content in your motor vehicle is taken, but also sometimes the car itself. So I can't emphasize more that we just remain as human beings to be vigilant, crime conscious at all times, and look at, you're driving 4 cars. As much as you're driving your car, there are other cars that you must look behind you, who's driving, look in front of you, left, right, and just look at the number plates. Most of the cars now have cameras. If need be, switch on your camera so that it can record that car and the co-occupants if you're feeling uncomfortable with those cars, or cars that you are driving in front or at the back of you. It's a problem with your tinted windows. I mean, there's a law that governs that, but you sometimes worry. You see a car that is so dark that you can't even see the people inside, and I think the law enforcement should apply on that, because even, and correct me if I'm wrong, even the law enforcers, I mean, the politicians, the ministers, their guys are so dark inside. You wonder that is it, yeah, when does the law applies to who? Maybe it's not applying a blanket approach, but it worries, because then you if you are a law enforcer, you must also be able to set an example.
A very good point that you make there. Thank you so much for your time this morning.